Welcome to the weekend preview show for stakes races, where our mission is to bring you the best betting opportunities for the upcoming weekend. We call them free squares, essentially, and we have a few of them tonight. My partner is Alfredo Alfonso. What's up, Alfredo? How are you?
Buenas noches. Good night, everyone. Welcome to the show. We can do it by league, whatever you want.
We could probably, but we got Chris in the background over there too. Chris is safe. He had like 100-mile-an-hour winds at his house up in Tampa, but I'm down south in Florida. You are too, Alfredo. We came away pretty much unscathed.
Yes, thanks God, but it's unfortunately what happened to the people at Tampa and Saratoga was a hard time for them.
Yeah, there were tornadoes, a lot of tornadoes though, and those hit down here as well. Not too far from me, also in Fort Lauderdale, there was a lot of tornadoes too. So those things are pretty scary. But all in all, it was a Category 3, I guess, which is bad enough, obviously, but it wasn't a Category 5. So, but we've got about 15 races, I think, to cover for tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And also want to make sure that we give a shout out to the boys. Chris and Justin and Oldie, they're headed out to Keeneland, and we're going to be doing live shows over there. So look forward to that starting on that start tomorrow, Chris. Yeah, the show starts tomorrow, so that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's Alfredo, let's get kicking off here. We got Belmont at the Big A. Essentially, it's Aqueduct while Belmont gets rebuilt. I felt like the class of this race, Alfredo, was the 2-horse, but the 2 is a poor breaker, and you can't really be too far back, obviously, going 6 furlongs in the outer turf. The rail's going to be at 24 feet. Speed usually is going to hold in a race like this, but what are your thoughts on this race?
And the race is, as you see in the win percentage, is very level. There are all 5 horses with almost the same win percentage. I believe the speed of LNJ, the 5, I like that speed, and is supported by a strong GSR. So this horse is coming, this is a filly. He's coming from 2 strong victories. Flavien Prat is riding well lately. I believe she could rank behind the speed or go to the lead depending on the start of the race. And I like the number 5. Is a horse that could improve enough to win the stakes, I think.
And she's a horse to watch. She's top win percentage. She's the lowest EE morning line. She's in the last couple of races, she's doing very well. She's had a bit of a layoff. I don't really think it's that concerning. She seems to be training okay. Flavien Prat is aboard. I think it's his first time. Yeah, it's first time for Flavien Prat and Brad Cox. They do have a good jockey trainer win percentage combination that you can see 33% in 150 races. So they do fine together. This is the speed of the race. Speed obviously holds here. It's obviously a much tougher race, though, because the win percentage drops from 34% down to 21%. But the way she did it, it was pretty impressive. Because if you look back, Alfredo, she broke her maiden against a 52 group at 27%. And then she actually faced 10 points higher in SOR, and she just smoked them. And that wasn't, 7 horses in the race. That was 11 other horses that she beat, and she did it easily. She's very tough when she gets the lead. Because of some of these other horses in here that they look good, but I really couldn't find anybody else. I'm going with the 5 as well to win the race.
I like her a lot. I'm looking here for my picks because you have your notes there.
Yeah,
and I have the broadcast in full screen. Is the only way that I'm getting my rest of the picks. I also have the number 6, and you have it there in the 5 horses that you pick. You don't have it in your picks. You have the 4, and you have the number 2. The number 2 is my third pick, Night Has Pie.
Yeah, Nicest Pie has that look of a horse that's just gonna look at it. It's a very slow breaker. We can count on this horse breaking slow. That's not a recipe for winning. But I will play this, but I will play Nicest Pie to come in third.
She's going too close, but definitely the speed is a factor in this race, and the race is very short. It's only 6 furlongs, and there is some quality. So LNJ is a strong contender. You didn't use the 6, but the 6 has more speed than the number 2, and she could be stuck in the pace and could be a beneficiary if there is a speed duel at the front. So the number 6 is a strong contender here. So with the 5 is the 2 horses that I most like here.
She's tactical. I actually like the 6. You can see here this horse also has some class. I mean, this horse almost beat a 78 group going 5.5 furlongs, and she goes up in win percentage. The GSR is the same, and she's going to be tough. I mean, she ran good in the Music City. That was a grade 2 race over at Kentucky Downs going 6.5 furlongs. Rosario jumps aboard, and she is a major player in here. I think my only concern and why I chose the 5 over the 8 is I think the 8 is faster. And so when I'm looking at the first call and looking at the second call, the 8's going to be pressuring the 6 from the inside. It's just not a good place to be. I think the 8 horse being in the race is going to hurt possibly the 6's chance of winning and probably help the 5 a little bit. I think the 6 is going to find a way to get second place though. And so I agree with you, by the way. I'm doing a 5-6-2 trifecta is the way I'm playing that. So
yes, I didn't use the 8 because if you check the past performances, I remember her. She was running at the Gulfstream, and she was running well at a mile on synthetic in 1 mile and 70 yards. Check the last one. She ran well in the grade 2, but she has no speed in this distance. So she will have some issues chasing the pace. She's good enough to be close to the leaders at the end, but I believe 2, 5, and 6 are the best option, and the 4 is running well, so that is an option too.
Well, the way I'm judging the 4 horse Agra is look, this horse was closing into a 66 group and a 56 group. Did a nice job and has a little bit of back class, but these are 74. These are much tougher. 5. So I think we already know who the 4 horse is and what she is capable of doing. The 5 horse is the one that we really don't know because she's only had 4 races, but she looks to be doing very, very well. I think she might be a really decent filly. She's got wonderful breeding by constitution.
It's very difficult to win at 5.5 furlongs by 5 lengths. It's not easy. Oh, her mother was is Copfefe.
Yeah,
you remember Copfefe?
Yeah, but Copfefe was a dirt horse. So, I mean, the turf breeding on this horse is, I mean, I don't know where the turf breeding is coming from, but it's, I mean, the horse has got a really good GSR.
I thought exactly the same, but it's working. It's working.
It's working. No, for
because
sure.
She's supposed to be a dirt horse because I remember that I checked the GSR Plus and I said, wow, this horse needs to be on dirt, but she's better on turf. So it happens.
All right, so we got a consensus that the 5 horse L&J is going to go gate to wire. I'm going to bet this horse. I think she's going to go gate to wire. She has a lot of upside, and I think the 2 and the 4 are going to be closing. I like the 2 better than the 4 because I just think the 2 has more class.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the 4 looks great on paper and is probably going to take some action, but she's going to have to really improve. And although she's doing really well. And look, I mean, she's faced big fields in the last 2 races. So, and Belmont's got her going good right now. But I still think that she's looking at a 3rd or 4th place finish. So, going to try to beat the 8. I still think the 6 horse is going to find a way to get second. Who knows? Maybe the 6 will be in front of the 8 early. Who knows? But all right. So that's race number 5 at Belmont at the Big A. That is tomorrow, Friday, October 11th. All right. So the next race we're going to get to is going to be Keeneland race number 9. For tomorrow.
Correct.
Let's get out there. All right. Let's run this race. It's good to be with you tonight, Alfredo. It's been a long time since we worked together. And tell people how they can find you on Twitter.
Well, my Twitter handle is @videoipico and is here behind my head, under my face. So because it's the brand that I created in Venezuela years ago. So it's in Spanish, but it's like horse racing in video, something like that.
Yeah.
So that is the meaning of that, and I have been working with that. I like a lot multimedia, so that is the reason that I put the name. Okay, the simulation is putting the 3 at the top. Okay.
Highway Robber, who to me looks super tough. I mean, this is a much easier group. He's very reliable. What are your thoughts in this race?
I like the 11.
11
The,
Bold Act.
the
Okay.
second pick of EquinEdge, and she is from Charles Appleby. Uh, this horse didn't deliver last time out. He was disappointed, but he has this strong pedigree. He's a son of New Approach. New Approach won the Epsom Derby. So I really believe this horse can do it better. And Luis Saiz is aboard. There is some speed. It's not a see the level of the race 72 is not a strong field that you can think, oh, this horse needs to improve. If he does his run this time, I think he's able to win. And he's a European, he's a grade 2 winner in Europe. At Maidan. And he won at Kineland, as you can check in 2023. Then he finished third in another stake race at Kineland. So I think this horse has a good chance, but you need to. The number 3 is a pick that I have also, Highway Robber. So I think you need to use both, combining your exotics. By the way, it's a very good idea when we do these shows to propose 2 or 3 horses, because a lot of people is doing trifectas and superfectas, and in the broadcast that I am doing, that is this Hípica TV in Spanish, and I usually give 3 or 4 horses when the race is very tough. I recommend to prepare box trifectas and superfectas, and for example, last Sunday at Santa Anita, I gave like 3 or 4 winning trifectas or superfectas with the picks of EquinEdge. So it deserves a look. It's not only to bet to win, it's not only to bet late pick 4 or late pick 5, is to try also the exotics.
Yeah. I don't love the post of the 11. So although it is a long race and the horse has time to get into position,
and he will.
Yeah, and the horse might, but the horse you're going to have to beat is Highway Robber. I mean, this horse is certainly, I mean, very consistent. Look, in the races, this horse broke bad here on this Kentucky Downs in $1 million race. I mean, that's really the only poor race we're seeing for this horse, other than the second start and the horse went on the shelf. So, I very consistent, going to run a good race no matter what. I thought the one horse was interesting as a long shot, because the horse is going up 14 points in GSR. It did not like the synthetic at all, and I think this horse could be in the money. I don't really think the one can win, Alfredo, but I do think the one horse is a horse that, sometimes you just see a horse and you're like, okay, there's just something about this horse, and the reason is I don't really think there's that much in here. This 3 is much better than these horses. It really catches an easier field. That at Kentucky Downs in that last race, that was a 76 group. And the horse was only 8% to win. It has the same GSR. It goes up to 26%, and it's dropping from a 76 SOR down to a much easier competition to 72. How you doing, Dan? So I do think the 3 horse is the horse to beat. I will single the 3 horse, although the EquinEdge second pick is Bold Act, and I'm not going to be surprised if it runs good, but I think it's going to have too much to do. And especially from that post and having no speed, although the 3 doesn't have much speed either, to be fair. So there's really not a lot of speed in here. The 9's fast. The 9's going to have the lead. Is there any scenario in which you think the 9 horse can go gate to wire?
I think last time out in Arlington Million, the GSR, he won a race at Churchill Downs. At Kireland, he won a 50,000 claim race. I don't know.
Mike Maker's done a really nice job. I mean, look what this horse has done. I mean, the only bad performance, and I say bad because it lost by 5 3/4 lengths, is in the Arlington Million and an 82 SOR. I mean, if you look prior to that, the horse had 4 straight races and almost won in that the non-graded stakes race there against a similar group, was 18%. Like, this horse is going to probably have an easy lead. I maybe shouldn't be ignoring this horse. Maybe somebody we should be, paying attention to, because other than that, there's really no speed in here. So
yeah, he has an opportunity. The finishes, this group has several horses that didn't deliver in the past but could deliver tomorrow. And Dan mentioned Tony Port, and Tony Port is my second pick. He has a good chance. A horse that
Dan
is
brought
running
this horse
very
up.
well daily. So
Yeah,
he's
I
not
mean,
winning, but he's running well.
going very well. You're right. Like, this horse just always seems to run the same race. Only 5 wins in 22 races.
And see the rider.
Let's see here. So Irad jumps aboard. He's had Pratt on a couple of times. Looked like the horse had decent trips. Was a little bit wide here, but not too bad. Yeah, I
This
mean,
one, the number 7, Will Stock, the number 9.
Well, and look, the horse is 5-2. The 7 horse has the lowest of the EE morning lines. That's super interesting.
Mm-hmm. Lower than the 3.
Yeah. No, I was surprised to see that. Yeah, I mean, seven's right there as well. Look at this horse was 42% here, 70 cents on the dollar, still lost with only 6 other horses in the race. I have to believe this horse is going to find a way to lose. I don't think I'll use this horse in the top end. I still think the 3 is going to find a way to win. But the more we talk about this, the more I'm interested in this 9 horse going gate to wire. What a nice claim for Mike Maker. Plus, this horse has 10 wins in 29 lifetime races. So, I mean, this horse just likes to win, and it's a grade 3 winner. I mean, you claim a horse for 50,000 and goes up and wins for a grade 3. Nice. That's a nice job. So, all right, let's go on to the next race. The next race we've got is for Saturday at Aqueduct. Let's go there.
It's the Sands Point Stakes.
So, yeah, grade 2 race, Sands Point Stakes. Let's run this thing. So Macanja is a horse that I own a small percentage of.
We have the same picks in different order.
I mean, she's so talented, but for whatever reason, and I don't know, she's been running super rank in the last couple of races. I mean, rank. The time before that, there was a Chad Brown rabbit that went stupid, and they were going, I don't know, 22 and change. It was just ridiculous, and she got caught up on the inside of that horse. And then, of course, Chad Brown's other horse that needed a suicidal pace to win. That's exactly what happened. So, good planning, Chad. But again, I have no idea if she's going to relax early. I just don't know. If she does, I believe she'll win. The 2 horse for me, Alfredo, this horse is just too poor of a breaker for me to put this horse on top, although I know that she's talented. So for me, I'm only using 2 horses. I think Style Points is probably the most reliable horse to win this race, and then Macanja if she relaxes early.
I agree 100% because my picks are 6, 4, 2. So I think Style Points will sit behind the speed and will close strongly. And I don't trust Spaliday, but she's from Chad Brown, so maybe she will hit the board. But I believe the number 6 is better. Well, Makanga. If Makanga does her race, she could scare the number 6. So
Yeah.
I will root for her, but the number 6 is the horse to beat here.
I agree. If Macanja relaxes early, I'm just telling you, like, she is. I mean, Dutrow, everybody that's ever seen her, just like, she's so naturally good, but she's not been relaxing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm not a trainer, so I don't know how you would even begin to train a horse to relax early. She wasn't like that early on. So I don't really know what's going on. Maybe as she gets older and matures. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if she's one of the best fillies as a 4-year-old and she relaxes and matures. Like, she's that talented. So we'll see. Like, and she might go off at 8, 9, 10 to 1. Who knows? Like, it could be a good payout.
The word for her is patience.
Yeah. Yep. Well, hopefully I hope that we see her true potential. So I use the EquinEdge GSR to pick her out at a sale, and as you know, and we got her for $150,000, and I felt like we stole her. Let's see here. All right.
She will run better. Maybe this one is the race that could change the course of her career, but eventually she will be using her speed to win races.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
speed is key. You know that.
The speed is key because you know that most horses, they just don't have that natural speed like she does, and that's a rare thing to have. And there's some that are just fast, but she's fast and talented. So why the heck she's been running so rank early, I don't know. But I have hopes that Lascano's gonna figure out how to. Maybe he's the one, try to get her to relax early. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm looking forward to seeing her run on Saturday.
He's a very good jockey.
Oldie, thanks for that, Chris. Oldie is on McAndra as well. Yeah, he's got her on top. And all right.
Yes, but don't ride her because you are very heavy.
No, I'm not riding her for sure.
Not talking about Oldie.
Oh, Oldie. Okay, let's run this race. This is the Floral Park Stakes, $140,000. This is fillies and mares 3 and up, and they're going 6 furlongs on the outer turf. Let me redo this. Hold on.
5-4-1. I have
you have the 5-horse risk
threshold.
Okay. Did he give her? Yeah, you know what? I did see that, Dan. I did see that. I saw that. And I'm hoping that that's going to make the difference. I hope so.
Wow, the 5 is stopping in the simulation.
Speed is a strong asset here, is what I wrote, especially since most of these are poor breakers, not proven at this level. So I thought this was a hard read, Alfredo, because of that reason. But she's lightly raced. To be honest, this is the logical spot for a horse that has done what she's done. It's also, as you know, it's not easy to come and win a non-graded or win an allowance race after breaking your maiden. And that's what she did.
I'm 4 length, and she's a Dubawi.
Yeah, and look at her win percentage goes up from the last race. So she's logical. She's absolutely logical to go gate to wire, and speed holds here at Belmont's turf course. By the way,
the number 1 is too slow. The number 3 has no speed, has no tactical speed. I believe that 5 is a single here, to tell you the truth.
Here's what's amazing about the 1, and that is she's slow, but yet she's won 7 of 14 races lifetime, and she's won her last 3 races.
Yes, because Clement knows where to put her. The appropriate group, but this group is tougher.
Well, I mean, her win percentage goes up. So I'm not using her on top either, but her win percentage does go up. She's going to be far back early, but she's always far back early. She's going to be, maybe we shouldn't be overlooking her. I don't know. I mean, she just seems to win. She's just a really nice horse, top EquinEdge pick. And you can see, look, she's going to be finishing pretty good.
No, she's a good finisher for sure. I have the 4 as the second pick. I agree with the Scotty picks. And
what do you like about this horse? I mean, this horse has not broke good in the last couple of races. It seems to always find some trouble. It hasn't won a race since I was a kid.
And she's a grade 3 winner. And the number 1 and the number 3 doesn't have those in her resumes. So the number 4 will be with the number 1 at the back of the group, and I think the number 4 will close stronger. So that is the reason that I like her to finish second, because the 5 will take the lead, and it's going to be very tough to reach her.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with the 5 as well, but I don't think is there any which way the 1 horse is not going to at least get second. So I'm going to do 5-1. All right.
Aldi with the number 5. Good job, Aldi.
And you are Oldie had the 5 as well?
Yep.
Okay. Nice, Oldie. And you guys, so consensus 5.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Oops.
Consensus.
Consensus. All right. There we go. Okay. Where are we going next?
Next.
Laurel. Okay, so Laurel Park, there's a bunch of stakes races. I'm going to be relying on you and Oldie a little bit here. I did some of the races, but you know what I did study up? I studied up on the configuration of Laurel Park, and I feel like I learned a lot about the track. Did you know that on sprint races over at Laurel Park, even one-turn mile races, the stretch is, I think, one of the longest in North America. Did you know that?
Yes. Sometimes is a very long way for the horses that run at the lead to finish the job. But with the stake races, there is a tendency to the horses that have more quality to win. So it's not usual to see a long shot in the stakes races. But let's see the sequence.
All right, let's run this thing. Essentially, tactical speed still plays very well on this dirt surface, but you can't be wide. Like I noticed, you really like speed horses still do really good, but you can come from behind here. But on distance races, 2-turn races, that stretch is much shorter and very difficult to come from behind. So make a note of that. Hopefully that's helpful. I ended up on the 2-horse. Poor start in last race, gets paced to chase. I think this horse is a player with a good break, even though it's this far back, only because I think there's going to be a lot of speed in here.
Yes, I like the 3 has a good opportunity. The 2 is, as you mentioned, a closer, and I like the 4 because the pace, and she's running well lately. So she's maybe the more balanced horse. Has a speed, has a decent win percentage, has a good GSR. Won last time out in a open allowance, and that is very important.
Yeah,
because this race is reserved only for Maryland breds, and she won an open allowance.
You know, the only reason I didn't like the 4, I agree with you, by the way. The 4 is a really nice horse. I don't know that this is going to play very well for the 4 because when I run the simulator, you can see the first call. The 8 is going to the lead. The 8 needs the lead. I don't know if it's going to get the lead, but it's going for the lead. And the 3 horse, we don't know if it's going to rate. And even if it doesn't rate, it's going to have to check back. So this is the very reason why I think the 2 horse, even though the race simulator has this horse losing by 3 and 3.25 lengths, 3 3/8 lengths. But I really do think that maybe there's a price here to be had with the 2 horse. The other one that's going to really get a nice trip, if it's good enough, if it can handle this class increase, is the 5. 5 is going to sit right behind them. It's the EquinEdge second pick. It's going to sit right behind them. And you can see the race simulator has this horse. It has the 3 winning if everything goes perfect, but it's not going to go perfect because the horse is on the inside of all this speed, which means the 5 is going to sit back here and then just make a move. So for me, I'm going to take the 2 over the 5.
Well, I don't like the 5 too much, but it's a tough race. He's 2 years old. I am using my common sense to handicap this one, and I know that it's a very tough track. So we are not having a consensus in this race, but I believe the 4 is likely the winner.
And did we find out who Oldie had in this race?
And I think that was mentioned by Chris in a comment recently. I think it's the number 2. The number 2.
It was okay. The number 2.
Barbarian Runner.
Barbadian Runner. So Oldie agreed with me. Okay. Wow. What's going on here? Oldie and I never agree. Okay.
Chris
Scotty, Oldie's agreeing with you on that race. We missed one at Keeneland on 10-12.
We did? Okay.
Yeah.
What did we miss?
Grade 1, 8th race. The 750,000 on Queen Elizabeth. Let's get over there.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, let's run this thing. So I was clearly on the 3-horse. She Feels Pretty. She was
She's a
all over
handler.
she was all over the place. Now I watched the video of her in the last race, Alfredo. She was all over the place, and they've quickly added blinkers to her. And there's just really nothing all that great in here. She's a really talented horse, and if the blinkers help, then she's going to be really, really tough to beat. And also, Bruno's workout reports on her are pretty tremendous.
Yes, I seen the simulation. The number 2, and she won the King's Plate.
Yeah.
Good Vine. I remember her. She's a very good filly, but that was on synthetic.
Let's watch this. Well, let's look and see what he says here. Boy, did Karayu and She Feels Pretty work fast. Track on the fast side and went 23-1, 46-4, 59 flat. And then they were hauling. And this workout, he said, worked well with ears flopping and 23-2, 47 flat. I can tell you that's to have a solo drill that goes that fast, finished in 23-3. This is a really nice horse. Let's watch this solo drill.
I like her a lot. I like her a lot. I remember when she ran at Pimlico, and she's
and Alfredo, look, this drill is in blinkers.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that, right? That having a video on this to be able to see that, you can see that she's working just fine in blinkers. I don't know if she's been working in blinkers, but not racing in blinkers. But either way, she's training in blinkers. I mean, she's moving beautifully. But
only toss the horse and use the number 100.
I'm sorry.
I didn't get the message. Only toss the horse and went with the 100 Candala.
Oh, the 10. Yeah, see,
I fat fingered it. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Well, look, 10. You guys are on the 3.
Obvious, tremendous breeding on with this horse, Candala. But this horse is going to be, first of all, this post is, do you know how many times horses have won from this 10 post going 9 furlongs? It's slim to none. It's just a very tough thing. And the horse has no speed. It's 15-1 EE morning line. And I think this horse, I think it's just going to need a race here. I think this horse is super talented. Obviously, this past performances speak for itself. But it has only earned $96,000. And She Feels Pretty is just a superior filly at this point. That's my belief. I disagree strongly with Oldie in this situation here. I think you're going to have to beat the 3.
I'm sorry, Oldie. You're finishing second in this one.
So you agree with the 3?
Yes, we agree.
Okay.
Finally.
Good. 3 horse and an Oldie 10. All right. Yeah.
Sorry, Oldie.
Yeah, sorry, Oldie. They just don't win from that post. And this horse is going to have to get used to the U.S. race, North American racing, where it's more speed based, and so, yeah. We saw the workout in blinkers. So
I believe the number 10 is a miler. She's a miler.
Who is?
The 10.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, see, 2 victories at a mile.
Yeah, especially from the 100 post. That's true, Dan. They're not going to win very many races from that 100 post. That's for damn sure. That was good, Dan. I'm not really sure why the win percentage algorithm didn't like this 4 horse. It's 9-2 on the EE morning line, and this horse is lightly raced for Brendan Walsh. By the way, Gaffleone's been on fire. What do you think of this horse, Alfredo?
Well, she has some talent. She has a victory at the distance, was a grade 3. I don't remember if I used her in my picks. Give me a second, because this one raised, Kineland. No, I have 3, 5, 6. She's good, but I don't know. She won at 68. Was a grade 3, but only 68. And when she tried 70, 72, she will run well, but to win the race, maybe for exotics.
Yeah, I agree. And the 2 horse, what was my note on the 2? Let's see here. On Unbelievable effort in the last 2 races. Thinks she's a synthetic horse. Oh, I remember this horse now. First of all, 10-1 in the EE morning line. Look at the surge indicator going down. Look at this. Going from a 99 on the synthetic down to a 68. First of all, this horse is in an optional claiming 32,000. I love the story on this horse, by the way. In an optional claiming 32,000 on the turf and ran pretty good. This just goes to show you how good this horse was, though. She ran like this with a 69 GSR, and then look at the GSR in this race. She goes from that to a $500,000 race, and the GSR goes up 30 points, and she barely loses, and then comes right back in the King's Plate and wins. Holy crap. I mean,
No, she's very good. I put her in the picks because I don't think she's able to defeat the number 3, but she will run well because she has heart.
she does have a lot of heart, no question. She does. I agree. I think you're probably right. She's probably in the money. I think we should talk about this one horse who runs well on the simulator. What do you make of Pinup Betty? I mean, 5 seconds in 12 races, bred tremendously, has a great GSR. Win percentage drops here. What do you think of her?
The finish is like the number 4. See her victories, even the regret in grade 3, 66 the SOR. When she tries over 66,
Yeah,
68, she finished second behind the number 4, by the way. And then 72, she didn't fire. So
yeah.
I believe this one is a tough place for her. She will run good, but not enough to win.
All right. So consensus with you and me on the 3 horse. She feels pretty. I will single her. Off the workout with the blinkers, like for me, she's a single.
I think the same. I'm sorry, Aldi.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to Laurel.
The next race is at Laurel Park. I think we're covering race number 3. I think. Let's try. Laurel Park, race number 3.
Uh-huh.
3 and 7 are the speed. The one horse has no speed, slow breaker, and then I kind of stopped from there. What do you think about this? This is the Maryland Million Lady Stakes, $120,000.
I'm using 8, 4, and 2. 8, 4, 2. Active. The top pick of EquinEdge, I like her a lot. A strong GSR, the top one of the race. So she's the top pick.
Okay.
Top win percentage. Well, second win percentage, sorry, behind the 4. Is the top GSR, by the way, and also is almost the top SOR. So all the check marks to win the race.
You know what? I'm not going to worry about her. For whatever reason, the win percentage algorithm never really loves her. You notice that? Like she's in the last 4 races, she's got 2 first and 2 second place finishes, and the highest win percentage she had was 28. So, but she is going up in win percentage from the last race. She's going up in GSR, and she's actually facing easier.
This is a very weak group for her, in my opinion. Obviously, she will need to close earlier to take the victory here, but with Jorge Ruiz and Graham Motion, that is a duo that is very effective at Laurel.
Yeah.
And I have the 4 and 2 are the enemies. Juniper Juice, second pick of EquinEdge, top win percentage. The ESR is not particularly strong, but she will be there, very close to the number 8.
And Oldie is on the 4 horse here, Juniper Juice, who, I mean, she ran a good race last time out. She's not a good breaker. And that doesn't help. It's a short stretch here on the turf. Speed. Listen, I wanted, when I saw this, I didn't get a chance to handicap all these races, Alfredo. But what I did do was do a lot of research on the surfaces. And so I looked at turf. I looked at 9 furlongs, 8.5 furlongs at Laurel Park. And horses don't close. Not for the win. They do not close. When you look, they just don't close. I mean, it doesn't happen. Like, not for the win. I think the 3 horse is the speed. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if the 3 and 7 are going to duel, because the 7 horse needs the lead and the 3 horse seems to need the lead for its best. Those two could go flying. And then if you get rid of these two, watch the simulator. Now all of a sudden, it's like two different. You know, when you see a bunch of two speed balls, it's like there's two different races going on within the same race. So this is the way I'm really looking at the race. I'm expecting the 3 and the 7 to stop. I think they're going to set a crazy fast pace. And so who does that set the race up for? I mean, the 1 horse possibly, right? This horse closes all the time. It's just a crappy breaker. The one time it did break good, look at 1. So I don't know. And it's only won 4 races and 32 strides. It's more likely to be in the exotics. And that's actually a really good, but okay. So this horse isn't also eligible.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And we miss these horses often. This horse would be very, very tough as well. You're right. You have to watch for that.
Yes. If
But
she gets in.
So you're on the 8 horse here, but the 8 looks like it could get carried wide here. It does look like it could get carried wide. It's not exactly a great place to be in that wide post. You can here though, it was, look at 9 furlongs. It had the 9 hole and it broke 8th and still won. So there you go. That does not happen very often, just so you know. So that was pretty impressive. It was against a lot easier group, but still, look, had the 10 hole here and won the race and came from well back. That just doesn't happen a lot. So this 8 horse does look very live, Alfredo. Yeah, that horse is definitely going against the grain. If you look up how many times that happens, it's just not very often.
She's good enough to win the race, but she's not a single, obviously.
Yeah.
In this race, I will spread. So at least 8-4-2. The 4 has a good opportunity, as you mentioned before, and the number 2 has the potential to upset the race.
Look at the win percentage jump for the 4. It's the EquinEdge second pick. It's not a good breaker, but this 4 horse could be very, very tough. Look at the 1 horse too on the race simulator. I mean,
she's a closer, yes.
She's a strong closer. She's going to save ground from the inside, but 4 wins. I think I'd rather take a more lightly raced horse like this horse, but.
And the top jockey of Laurel is riding the 1.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
Yes, Jaime Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're going with the 8. You don't think that the horse is a single, but you're going with the 8. And Oldie's on the 4.
Yes, the 4 has a good opportunity, but now that you show the number 1, there is some crazy pace here. Maybe the 1 will run them down. So it's a very tough race. Maybe you can use a 4, 8, 4, 2, and 1. Do a superfecta or trifecta in box and spread in the early pick 5.
Here's what I'm going to give you. I think I really do think the 1 horse is going to end up being likely to be in the money. I really do. Just because I think that the 3 and the 7 are going to go flying, and so the race is going to set up very well for the 1. And you could end up getting 4, 5, 6 to 1 on this 1 horse. And if I think the 8's the horse to beat, I agree with Alfredo. But if the 8 does get carried wide early, then the 1 horse breaks decent. Then the 1 horse could finish up in the money. So I'm on the 1 to be in the money.
I agree. I didn't put her in my picks, but the number 1 for sure, at least in the exotics.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you can. There's many different ways to bet, so you can, obviously. All right. So the next race we have is race number 6 for fillies, and let's run this thing. I have a note here, and I remember this race now, Alfredo. This 1 is super live because look at this first call. Like there's a line of horses that are going to be possibly going for the lead, and it's not a great place to be on the rail necessarily, but the horse is going to save ground and is going to be, maybe sitting 3 or 4 lengths behind the leaders. And look at the way it closes. And the reason why I think we should try to beat the 12 is explain to me how the 12 is supposed to win from this wide post. How is it supposed to pull that off? How exactly?
Put me the past performances because I don't remember.
Let's see.
I handicap
So
like 80 races this week. Okay, she ran at Saratoga. She was close to the lead on that race. Usually these horses are coming from strong tracks like Saratoga.
yeah,
They usually run very well at Laurel.
yeah,
This one has a particularly good pedigree. And
does.
if Trombetta tried this horse at Saratoga, and he's not a good trainer with first starters, I think he's a 8 or 9%. And
9%
now
first
I
time and
think it's
second time
11, something like
14,
that.
11.
11. But this is the kind of horse that Trombetta, wins in the first starter. So I believe the number 12 is very alive here. She will run very well.
There's no doubt about it. But you're supposed to try to beat a horse like this from this post. Like that was a really unlucky post draw for the connections. It just was, and like
I agree, but she's running. See her GSR. She's the top one of the race.
She's got the top GSR. What about this first time start of the two? I made a note on this. Like the fact that they're starting this horse, the simulator only has this horse losing by a length and 3/4. Look at the 3 stars for Bruno. The workouts look tremendous. Nice gate drill right here. And John Robb is 13% with first time starters.
Check the dam, please.
The dam is Yes I Dance, and she in 11 tries didn't do much. $82,000 mostly on the.
She was precautious. I remember that I checked this horse.
Yeah,
yes, right.
And she's fast. She was fast. Look at this. She was very fast. Yes. Very fast. And Opportunity was not as fast. So
we don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard read.
The workouts are very good for her.
Yeah, no, they're good. I know she's got a low win percentage, but it's a pretty wide open race on the win percentages, where the one horse is the top number, lukewarm at 23%. Look,
and Jaime Rodriguez is riding.
What's that? Rodriguez is riding. Yeah.
I don't think she's beating the 12, but maybe she can run very well and finish in the top 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, it's going to depend on the trip the horse gets. Like, obviously, you have 12 horses. You're not trying to be on the inside. No doubt about it. I get it. But
I have the number 6 as a second pick. Can you put it there? Because I don't remember all the detail.
Sure.
She's a closer. She ran.
Well, she's been showing speed. She looks like a horse that she shuffled here. She dueled here in between both. I will say this. Look, and she showed she can raid a little bit here. She was. This is something I look for in trouble lines, and that is this here, evenly between foes. So that means that not only was there 9 horses in the race, but she was in between horses. And when you're in between horses, especially maidens, you're just not relaxing very well. And so with a better trip, I'm saying you could see a big price here. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's no way that I'd be covering it all. In fact, I might cover everybody but the 12 and leave the 12 out. I just don't see how that horse is supposed to win from that post. I just, I'm going to try to beat that horse every time. But even if you look here, even like the 10, how's the 10 supposed to win from that post? The 8, same thing. These horses are going to be flying to the lead. 8 might need the race anyways. So it's a prudent thing. There's a really high likelihood, by the way, here. And by the way, you got a long stretch here, and there's going to be a lot of speed. There's a high likelihood that somebody from the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts is going to win this race. Like, I think I looked up the stat, and I think that the first 4 positions or 5 positions wins like 60% of the time, 70% of the time, maybe more.
Okay, so remember, I like the 12, but the 6 is my second pick, and it's 20-1 in the morning line. So the number 6 will fly, and check the simulation. In the simulation, is flying at the end. The number 6.
All right, so you're on the 12.
12 and 6, yes.
12-6. Yeah. Rodriguez is on this horse. That's interesting, right? Yeah, 7-1 on the EE morning line. You know, I would be worried about 3% if the win percentages in the race were huge. Here's the thing too. Look at this. This horse faced a similar field last time out. And this horse has the perfect type of tactical style that you're looking for, and it's going to save ground from the inside. Because look, I mean, you can't afford to break bad, but that really applies to almost every single race. This horse broke 9th of 10 horses here at 19-1 and still got second. And now it's going to save ground. And look at the win percentage; it's 23%. I think this horse is going to get ignored. 20-1 in the E morning line, top win percentage, EquinEdge second pick. So not only is it, so this is what I like about it. It's not only is it a horse to watch, it's the top win percentage. It's also the EquinEdge second pick. So, I mean, it's not like it's just one algorithm that's saying, hey, this horse has a look. There's a lot pointing towards this one horse running a good race with a good trip. So I'm going to go with the 1.
Same trainer that the number 6.
All right, so I'm going 1-2. 1-2.
Okay,
All right,
good
so
luck.
I'm going to go inside. I normally wouldn't like that, but based on the race simulator and what I think is going to happen at the first call, I think it's likely that these outside horses are going to have to run too far around there, and that it's going to be rough for them to win the race unless one of them actually clears, and that's a possibility. Which one that's going to be, I don't know. Yeah, so most of these horses' styles are to be near the lead. So, all right, good stuff there. Let's go to race number 7. So we have a 9 furlong turf race again. And speed is very, very tough to beat. It's very, very tough to beat.
Race 7. Okay, my picks are 3, 5, 8. You have the 3.
Yeah, I thought the 3 was decent. I didn't like the 7-1 E morning line, Alfredo, but I'm going to redo this because I'm just from everything that I was studying the last couple of days, like you cannot come from behind. And so the way you do it is you need to be within 3 lengths at the second call. So essentially the 6 and 7 and 1 are no bueno. Like they can be in the money, but not for the win. And then you go to the stretch, and you need to be within 2 lengths. And who's within 2 lengths? So I can throw out the 4, throw out the 6. 1's finishing, but kind of finishing, a little bit too late. I think the 1 could be the type of horse, and you can kind of see its style that could be in the money. But we're talking about for the win. So the 1 could be in for the money for sure. Street Copper. So the winner's coming from one of these horses. Talk to me about the 3 horse.
The number 3 ran a huge one in the previous to the last one, then ran 4th at Momo the last time out in a 100,000 stakes race. So he's dropping class, in my opinion. He proved that he likes to run at Laurel. Ran a very good second in, I believe, the same race last year. He finished second last year in this race. And I believe he's the horse to beat in this opportunity. And the 5 is a very good horse. My doubt is the distance. And the number 8, he has on speed. If they allow him to be alone in the lead, he's a danger. But I believe the number 3 will close in time.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2 races back, the 8 horse went gate to wire, was 41% to do that. Then it was only 14% last time out. And it ran a really good race in a non-graded stakes race similar to today. And it only lost by a length. So this horse is very honest. That's the one thing. I mean, it needs the lead, right? It needs the lead for sure. And I guess my concern a little bit, I think the 5's going. I really think the 5 is going to go. Boyce was aboard for this second place finish, going 9 furlongs on the turf and rated. So, but that was on the 3. As far as the 5 horse goes, it seems to need to be forwardly placed for its best.
Yes.
And right. And so look, the 5 and the 8 could duel possibly, but
If
speed.
that
Listen,
happened, the 3 is winning for sure.
when what I love is, I mean, 3 is not going to be too far back. Like I think we're looking at a 3-2 here. The 2 is a nice price, by the way. I don't know what your thoughts are on this horse, but I know it's going down in win percentage, but and it's probably more of a dirt horse. So I'm with you. I'm at the end of the day, as we're handicapping this, I have to go with the 3 horse to win the race.
So the 3 horse is a consensus one here.
Oldie likes it as well.
No, Aldi likes the 2.
Oldie likes the 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't go with the 2. I just think I think it's more of a dirt horse. I do. I
He
mean,
won
it's
in the previous to last one because they moved the race from turf to dirt. That's
the
it.
dirt. And this race, yes, it won, but it was against a 54 group, and it went gate to wire, and was 40% to do so, and beat 4 other horses. So
It's not about horse, but the 3, I
Yeah.
think, is superior, and the 5 and 8 also, they are very strong here.
Yeah, I just don't. It's not the be all, there all, but end all. But I was kind of surprised that the EE morning line on the 3 is 7-1. I just think you'll get those anomalies sometimes, and I just think that it's just off. But I guess if we're being honest about this 3 horse as well, Alfredo, I mean, it's not beat a 62 group, right? It beat a 50 here, a 56 group here, but it did beat this 58 group here pretty easily, but it was 32% to do it. It still has a nice win percentage. The one thing I can tell you, depending on the way you wager, this 3 with just even a good trip is going to be in the money. The most likely horse to be in the money.
The danger for him is, or the 5 or the 8 has the lead alone, they are going to be very tough to beat.
Yes,
That is the only concern. But if the number 5 and the 8 start doing it, they are having a fight at the beginning of the race. Obviously, the 3 will win.
Dan, you know what? I was just gonna talk about this horse based on what I'm seeing. Okay, this horse just looks okay, just looks okay. But look how far back at even the second call this horse is 3.59 lengths. These horses almost never close on this turf course, and it's 15%. Like I think the 7 is more for the exotics. Personally, I won't use the 7. I agree with Alfredo on this. We agree. I think the 2 is a dirt horse. I think the 3, 5, or 8 are winning this race. And
sure.
if the 5 clears, first of all, if the 5 or the 8 clears, either one of them is going to win.
Oh,
so,
for sure. Yes.
Right?
You need to use the 3 of them because we don't know if one of them allow the another one to run alone in the lead. Is going to be very tough to beat.
And here's the thing: if the 5 and the 8 happen to duel, look who's sitting in the garden position. It's just the 3. 3 wins for fun. And I know the simulator has a 7 finishing, no doubt about it. But the bottom line is this horse is going to be kind of far back early. So I'm going to try to beat the 7. And the other thing is, Dan, look at 5 wins in 30 races. This 7's just not a good breaker. Is it just always breaks slow? So I'm going to try to beat the 7 for the win.
The 7 is more for exotics, maybe fair.
I think so. Yeah. So I think we'll just say 3, 3, 8, 5, right?
Yep.
All right. Consensus. Okay.
Consensus again.
Yeah, I'm forgetting the N right there. Okay.
You need to use that for a name of a horse now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Maryland Million Sprint Stakes. Okay, so now I'm going to be catching up to you. You and Oldie handicapped this. I didn't handicap it. So this is a 6 furlong race. Obviously, I'm not liking these wide posts. I'm going to get rid of the 9 and the 10 now. And then we'll just watch this. Let me redo this. Okay, play. Here we go.
Yes, there is a lot of speed here. The number 5 is extremely fast.
Yeah.
But he's outclassed in this level.
Yeah, you're right. It has a really low SOR.
I don't know why the system likes this number 7 so much at this distance.
I
He's
don't
a good
look
horse,
at
but
look. It is a sprint race, and this horse is 6.5 lengths back. I'm
oof,
beating that horse. I am not. That is not going to be the horse. The 2-horse Celtic Contender. Here's a horse that's tactical, and going to sit on the side and really should get a nice trip. Can this horse? I mean, but it's dropping from 43% win down to 14%, and that was 7/8 distance. The horse clearly likes 7 furlongs. It's only ran one time 6 furlongs and just ran okay. What do you make of this horse? I mean, obviously it's tactical, saves ground from the inside.
yes, I use him as a second option because he won easily last time out, but this one is 6 furlongs and he's facing the number 3, and the number 3 is the horse to beat here. He will sit behind the speed and he will look for the lead in before the top of the final stretch. And I believe this horse is very tough. 7-11. He tried the boss board last time out,
Yeah.
but at Laurel Park, at this distance, at this level, this horse is extremely tough. Check when he's running at this distance in a level like 62 or 64. He's very dominant.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't love this horse as much as you, although this horse does have 7 wins, but it's going to a low win percentage trainer who's 9% first off, first with. The horse was in over its head last time out. A lot of times you'll see when these horses run over their heads like that, they come back and don't run very well. I didn't like that this horse lost badly, considering it was 45% to win. But it did steady. It did have some. It did have some issues. It's a hard look. He's hard knocking, but 7-1 in the morning line, 16%. You can see by the win percentages, this race is wide open. So I want to use other things, obviously, besides the win percentage to choose the horse. I think and then we talked about the 4 and the 5 dueling, and because they both need the lead. Johnny from Albany, the 4 horse. I mean, this horse clearly needs an easy lead. So does the 5. So they're going to be dueling. When that happens, Alfredo, tell me what your thoughts are. When you have 2 horses that are going to be dueling, really need the lead, and they're going to be flying up front, almost anything goes. Like, it really sets it up for a horse that's going to come from behind. It really does. And in this stretch, you can see that. And maybe it does set up for the 7-horse band camp because of that reason.
Yes, but I see the SOR with that horse. He's outclassed in this level.
I mean, the horse has won 5 races in a row and then barely lost here, going 8 furlongs. I'm guessing that the pace was pretty slow here and still did pretty good. I'm not hating this horse, believe it or not, only because of the early projected pace. But I mean, horses, again, they don't usually win coming from this far back. They just don't. But it is a long stretch, and so closers can. And I mean, look at that. Look at that double blue. I mean, that horse is flying. 6-1 right now. The EquinEdge second pick. Win percentages. You can see the system is having a rough time, but choosing a horse, man. But for me, at the end of the day, I still think, even though it's a big drop in win percentage, I'm going to have to go with the 2 horse. Is going to be a lot closer. I actually think the EquinEdge picks have it right. I'm going to go with I'm going to go 2-7.
Okay. I am going 3-2.
3-2? Okay. And then Fredo. And then who does Oldie have?
I don't know.
Let's see here. I'll tell you right now. Let's see that.
Oli has no pick in this race.
No pick
Okay.
in this race. Okay.
Next race.
All right. So race number 9. I'm going to get rid of these 3 horses here. I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to get rid of this one. All right. Let's run it. All 1%, 50-1 EE morning line. I don't think the 12 was part of the pace. No, it wasn't. So the 11 is projected to get the lead, the EquinEdge long shot. 3's kind of fast, 32%, a horse to watch. And it's the top win percentage and the top EE pick is the 3. Do you see the 11 who's 6-1 on the EE morning line and 17% and the EquinEdge long shot? There's a lot going. Oh, and has the second top SOR. There's a lot going for this 11 horse, Alfredo.
Yes, she has a good chance to win. She has some difficulties to winning at this level, but at least she's running well and she has a speed. Sheldon with Brittany. She will try to win wire to wire for sure. I don't know if she is holding on. I
This
believe
is
the
an
number.
easier group than what she faced last time.
Yes, but the number 8, if the number 11 gets some pressure, and you know very well that the simulation is not showing the reality in that part, she is going to receive pressure in this race. So I think the number 8 will be flying at the
Look
end.
here. Let me disagree with you real quickly. Look at the first call and even the second call. The horse is always in the front. Like there's now, that's not the best post to break from, to be fair. And I know that's what you were kind of referring to, but this horse is going to have a clear lead for sure.
But you need to put the other horses there. The other horses that are there, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 9.
No, but they're not fast early. None of them were fast early. That's why I eliminated them. Look, none of them. They were all horses that have no speed. So, yeah, the 11 is going to have a clear lead. We just want to make sure that we understand that. Like, I have no doubt the 11 is going to. This is a horse that has to be used. It's 17% to win. Last time it was 14% to win. It literally barely lost. Same GSR. And look, it was a 64 SOR group, and now it's a 60. So, and it not just one metric, 6-1 EE morning line, 17%, top pace number, EquinEdge long shot. I mean, there is a lot pointing here towards this horse. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know that would be my pick, but certainly that horse is scary.
She will try, but she always stop. I don't trust her. You know, I put her like, I think she's my first or second pick. Let me check because I don't remember.
You know what I like about her though?
She's my second pick.
She's had some time off, and she's facing easier here, right? I like that, and I mean she's got a nice work here, August 24th, but she had a race since then. I might choose this horse, but what do you like? Let's talk about what you like.
I like Weedy, the number 8.
Okay.
I know she's slow, but she's facing tougher competition. Last time out, she had she had a bad break. She broke 11 in that race and was a grade 2 at Kentucky Downs. So she didn't recover. But at Laurel Park, as you can see, her last 2 victories at Laurel. One of them on turf.
And you and else look at the last time that she faced a 60 group. I mean, or he won by 4 1/4 lengths going 6 furlongs, but that was on the dirt. But the GSR is higher on turf. But the horse was 27% that day as well. The horse is now 10%. It's really difficult. You're right, though. I mean, this is such a big drop in class. It's not even funny. I mean, throw out the grade 2 race, 3% to win. Throw that out. And you know what I've seen with the system sometimes, Alfredo? It seems like when a horse like this, you know, obviously the jockey let up and just said, hey, we'll live another day. It seems like the next time out, the system really dings the horse. That's what I see. I think 10% is too low for this 8. I agree with you. The only negative for me, I mean, is how slow this horse breaks. And you have a horse that's going to be 9-5 or 8-5, and it's going to be reliant on pace. I want to try to beat that 8, but it's the horse to beat for sure on paper. But I can't like a horse that's going to be so far back early at 5.5 on the turf.
Well, I like her more than the 11 because the 11, I think she's going to be outclassed by the 8, and I know that she's lazy. She's weak in the final stretch. The 8, in the contrary, is completely different. She's going to close like a train. So maybe you can pick another horse like the 3 or the number 2 has an option, but the number 8 for sure will be there at the end.
Well, the 3 is tactical, and the you know that probably look. This horse barely lost going 5.5 over at Colonial, but let's compare some of the turf races over at Laurel. 5.5 furlongs, 3 back, won that race against a 66 group at 4%, is now 32%. Actually, if we're really keeping it real with ourselves, how the 3 horse is the horse to beat.
I put her as my third pick because it's the first time that she's running in a stakes race there. But you're right. Maybe she's good enough to win the race. And the number 11, I don't trust her. So maybe I put her as the second pick because she's going to be alone in the lead, as you mentioned. But every time that I use her, I remember, oh, this horse is so weak in the final stretch. So I don't trust her,
I no, completely understand. The 3 horse is not going to be far behind. It's going to save ground from the inside. It's tactical. These are all the things you need to be successful over at Laurel Park. The 2 horse form is just tremendous, as we can see, but it drops in win percentage big time and it goes up in class. It's the EquinEdge second pick, but and it'll probably run a good race, and you're probably going to get odds on the 2 horse. Great idea. It's not impossible, but man, this is the 3 horse race to lose. Absolutely. And it comes back Laurel Park. It loves Laurel Park. 6 races earned $130,000. Ramsey seems to have this horse doing really, really well. Look, when it was 31%, it won. It's not a horse that's been a high win percentage and burn money. I like this horse. I like this horse. I'm going to say 311. I'm going to say 311 too. I'm actually going to go away from the 8. I don't like the break.
Okay, so for me, 8 and 3.
Okay, 3, 11, 2, and Alfredo is, you said 8-3, right?
Yes, and the 11 is the first horse.
And the third. Okay, gotcha. And then did Oldie give a pick on this? Laurel 9, Oldie. Okay, Oldie, that's it. So Oldie has no more picks. Okay.
Oldie has no more picks.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Chris. All right. We've got 2 more races to cover. We've got what a great day on Saturday for Laurel Park, you guys. The $100,000 Maryland Million distaff for fillies and mares 3 and up. And let's make sure we eliminate horses like the 7, not part of the pace. Try to fit these horses in the screen. The 3 horse is not part of the pace. The 1 horse is not part of the pace, but let me just see first. It's not going to be near. Run the finish. I'm just trying to get it all on the screen. All right, you know what? I'm going to just expand it. That's fine. We have that ability to do it as well. Start. Okay, let's run this race. Here we go. We do have a horse to watch here. That's an ROI of 0, 70% of the money, 35% to win. That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that, considering the horse is 12% to win. When horses are the top pace, top win, top SOR, and EE top pick, they win 35% of the time. So we might have a sleeper here in the 8. Let's run the race though.
Yes, the number 11 is going to press the pace. Well, the 13 and 14, the 13 has a speed also. Malibu Beauty has a speed. So Miss Harriet has a good chance. But I believe the number 6, I don't know why the simulation doesn't like her, but
well,
check the number 6.
I wouldn't say it doesn't like her. Like, you know, it's 3.5 lengths back. I think we have to look at the 9 first. The 9's going to be 6 lengths back at the beginning at the first call. We talked about this. Like, horses that aren't within 2 lengths of the first call almost never win. So really what we're looking at is the 2, 8, 11 and 13. Like 2, 8, 11, 13. Based on the data and that I've put together, the likelihood is one of those 4 horses is going to win. And that's because the others are too far back, and they're going to have to come from too far back, like this horse. Nice horse, no doubt about it. And it's super good. 3 wins in 4 seconds in 7 tries. But you are on the 6 horse, Alfredo. Yeah, I can't take these white horses. By the way, I'll give you the stat if you got a second here, everybody. I'm gonna tell you what these outside posts win at. Let me put this together 1 second. Laurel Park, 7 furlongs. By the way, here's a point on the turf races, and I think it's important to know, Alfredo, and I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that the turf course at Laurel is only 7/8 of an oval? It's not a mile or more like most turf courses. So it's actually tighter. And this is why horses don't come from behind very often on the turf course, because it's 7/8 of an oval. So for those of you that didn't know that, there's some information for you there.
It's a tough track because the quality of the horses are not the best all the time. So sometimes it's very difficult to handicap.
Yeah. So let's see here. One turn races, like 7 furlongs. These races feature a longer stretch, and being wide is not a good place to be. It's just not. Like these posts out here. So yeah, not a good place to be. Yeah, it's like something like that, like Dan's saying. It's like the 8's the fastest horse in the race, and the 11 is fast, so that might not apply. But the 12, 13, and 14, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for that 14 from that post. It's going to have to be much the best, and its win percentage is dropping a little bit, and it's not the fastest horse in the race. Like, so think about where it's going to be, right? It's going to be here, Alfredo. 13 is going to be 2 lengths back, and they're going to be wide. So, but if the 9 and 10 were just as fast, then I would give them no chance. I can't give them no chance, but it's going to be very difficult from that post. And then, so you have to be looking for some horses on the inside that maybe saving ground and closing. It's interesting, this one horse here, like you can kind of see it, like if these wide horses stop, and the one horse is kind of finishing a little bit, but the 9 is obviously a very nice horse. It's 5-1 EE morning line. Let's look at it. Go ahead and explain why you think this 6 horse is going to win this race. It's 15-1 EE morning line.
Yes, she's improving a lot lately, and she's in a very but extremely good form, and there is a speed in the race, and she beat a 60 SOR field by 11 lengths. And the jockey was doing nothing over this Spencerian. So she's in this moment she's a monster. So I believe the number 8 will try to wear the field, but she will receive pressure from the outside. And if they pass a fast pace, the number 6, as you can see, she will sit behind the speed and she will wait. And she's in a very good form. I think you need to use her, especially with the pace scenario.
You know what I see, though? I see her style. She's not one that comes from too far back. She's always here she was 3.5 lengths back, but the projected lengths back that she's going to be is 6 lengths. So I don't know.
Maybe she's going to be, farther in this race, but she's so in a good form.
She is in amazing form, no doubt about it.
She's going to close so strong that maybe she will get the victory.
No doubt.
She's a price play for me.
So look at I'm looking at this 8 horse, and she's been facing similar horses to today, and she's won easy. I mean, she's obviously in very good form. The win percentage does drop, though, which to me tells me that this race is it's like really tough. It's exactly what we're talking about. But she's essentially a 35% win horse. And I have to remember that, because horses that meet this criteria win 35% of the time. So I think I want to look at the 11 horse a little bit. The 11 horse, look at the 11 horses. This 11 is very, very fast, and it needs the lead, so it will be pressing on the 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why I don't like the 11, because the 8's just faster. I mean, the 8
the 13 has a good opportunity. Versina, the 13 has a good chance. You put her in your 4 numbers at the top.
I agree with you, by the way. I agree.
But she's also a horse that likes to be in the lead. But she could be, ranked behind the speed. So maybe she's going to take advantage of this duel between the 8 and the 11, and she will try to take the lead before the final stretch. But then she needs to deal with the number 6 and with the other horses that are coming, from the inside.
I'm going to tell you that, like I said, those post positions just don't win. I mean, they never win. I'm going to tell you that the 13 is going to get scratched, and I wouldn't be surprised if the 14 gets scratched as well. The 11 is not as fast as the 8. Speed kills speed. So for me, I'm getting rid of these horses here. And then this is really what the race looks like. And the 8 has an easy lead. And the Malibu Beauty, this 2 horse, this is a horse that has tactical speed that's doing very, very well. That was a pretty tough group last time out over at Delaware, $100,000 race. You think she's won 12 races and 39 races. What do you think of her chances?
She's better running a mile. So if the race was a mile, I will tell you this one isn't the horse to beat, but it's 7 furlongs. And the number 8 has more speed, and as you saw, the 11 has a speed, the 13 has a speed. So, well, maybe she's running from behind in this opportunity, but I still prefer the number 6.
All right, so Alfredo's going to go with the 6.
You can put 6, 13, and 8, but
okay,
I like the 6. The 6 is the price play.
I agree. I totally see that. I just think she's projected to be too far back, and you just don't come from that far back to win this. That's why I'm not taking the 9. The 9's the most likely horse to be in the money. That's a fact. Like, that horse is going to be, look at the way this horse is closing. I don't think it's going to be enough to get the win, but maybe it is. I mean, again, she's going to be projected too far back, and that style just does not win.
Or maybe the 6 is not closing in time, and the number 9 does the job.
Well, I got to go with the 8 horse. I have to believe that the 8's going to just find a way to win. She's she's doing really, really well right now. The connections are on fire. Look this is where the turnaround happened, except for the first race, and you often see that. The horse broke 9th, was 58-1 against a 72 group. It was obviously a much tougher race, and was 2% to win. And look, breaking 9th, the horse still only lost by 5 lengths. There was an indicator there that maybe there's something going on. And then faces easier. The win. And by the way, a 45 GSR in that turf race. That was on the turf. Then they get back on the dirt where they belong. And then look what this horse has done. I think she's doing tremendous. I think the 8 wins this race. All right, I'm sticking with it. All right, that's race number 10. Alfredo's got 6. I've got the 8 horse in race number 10 at Laurel Park. All right, let's go to race number 11. This is the last one we're covering. And this is the Maryland Million Classic Stakes for 3 and up.
It's a tough one.
Is it a tough race?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Let's run it.
We have one more stakes at Santa Anita.
Oh, we do? Okay.
The last race at Santa Anita.
Okay, cool. No, that's actually a good point, Dan. What Dan's saying there too, Alfredo, is a lot of these horses you have to look to see. They don't run good without the Lasix.
Yes,
so
probably.
It sucks that we have to even look at that. There's so many handicapping things we have to look at. Now we've got to throw that into the equation. That's really a drag, honestly, but you do need to look at that. I appreciate you bringing that up, Dan. Wow, you weren't joking. Okay, maybe we can kind of rely on the outside post thing. 9 furlongs on the dirt. Look at the starting position, Alfredo. Like, these outside horses, the chances, let's do the first call here. Okay. So first of all, you can't be this far back to win. It's a short stretch and a wide post. Look at, and this horse is 9-2, and it's the top EquinEdge pick. I can no way use that horse. Let's start with who you like first. What do you like?
I'm using Musler Time. The number 4 has top pick.
Okay.
He's going up in class, but this horse is doing well lately. So probably he's going to take the race because he's going to be close to the lead from the very beginning. And Jaime Rodriguez is riding for Catal Lynch. I have hopes that he could take the lead before the final stretch. And Mugato is going to be on the number 8. Feeling Woozy will be far from him. So that is my hopes with the number 4.
You know, I see horses like this 8 horse all the time, and look, I always try to beat them. And the reason is, the last time this horse won, it was 25%, but it went gate to wire. And then you see these horses that have some decent talent, but they never seem to get there if they don't clear. Plus, look at 3 wins in 22 races. And the 8 horse, who's the EquinEdge second pick, by the way, has been facing 3 horse fields, 4 horse fields, 4 horse fields, 4 horse. Oh, come on. I can't, no way I could choose a horse like that. And then the 9 horse and the 11 are coming from so far back on a short stretch like this, and they draw these wide posts. I can't choose them. I can't choose the 8. I can't choose the 9. I'm definitely not choosing the 11, and I'm not choosing the 10 horse from that post either. I don't think I can choose that. I think I got to take an inside post and go there. I would imagine the 3 or 4 horse is going to win. I'm looking at the win percentages. I'm looking at the E morning line. I'm looking at a price play. So you've got one of them. Let's look at this 3 horse a little bit and see if maybe we've narrowed down to the 2 horses in the race. Like
the GSR is dropping.
The GSR is going from a 48 to a 56. So it is going.
Well, he has run at mile 61. The GSR now is dropping to 56.
Yeah, but it's not a 48. At least it's 8 points higher than that. So at least it's been facing some decent sized fields.
As I told you, it's a tough race.
No doubt about it. It is a tough race, but I have a feeling this Market Maven might run it. Look at you, because you know why? Let me tell you why. I look at this horse on paper and I'm like, okay, it's got to be 10-1 on the morning line, right? No, it's 5-1 on the E morning line. I look at it and go, okay, it's probably going to be 5% to win. It's 15% to win. So something's going on with this horse. And then when you look at the SOR, it's got the second top SOR, and the top SOR is a horse that just doesn't look very good.
Yes, and the 4 is the lowest one.
Right, it's the lowest one. So, yeah, I don't like that either. Yeah, but I mean, the horse.
He's in a good form, and sometimes at Laurel, to win this race, you need to be in good form. And like the previous race with Spencerian, Musler Tine is the horse that is very fit.
I think your 4 is great. I'm gonna save ground with the 3 horse and try to beat the 9 and 11, who are going to be finishing fast, but they're going to have to overcome a lot. This horse was 30% and 6-5 here, and still lost the race against 4 other horses going the same distance at Laurel. And this horse was 3 lengths back here. It's projected to be much further, and it has 1 win. This horse is going to get way over bet. The 11 horse from that post is going to get way over bet. It's burned a bunch of money at high win percentages. Just no way. Got to take a chance on the 3 horse. Your horse. If your horse is going to win at this level, it's going to be because this is just a weak field. And I think the 3 horse Market Maven, I actually like it. I think it might run a good race.
Okay, 3 and 4 is good enough.
Okay, Santa Anita on Sunday or Santa Anita on Saturday?
This day, on Saturday, last race.
Got it. Okay, we have a California bred race, it looks like. Gonna get rid of, well, let's run this first on the full screen. Okay, let's go. We're gonna get rid of this 12.
The number 9 has a lot of speed, but at this distance, it's going to be very difficult for her. The number 7 is the horse to beat. She's very good at this distance.
Yeah.
The number 10 is very talented. So I don't know if she will be close enough to run down the number 7, but she has talent. She's a good one. So the 7 is the horse to beat, the 10 enemy, and also Rose Maddox, the number 4, has some victories at the distance, is the fair option.
Okay, so you're on who?
7.
4? Oh, 7.
No, 7. 7. Okay. 10 has a second option, and 4 for a fair opportunity, fair option.
Okay, so my initial reaction was, the 3, 5, 6, and 7. So let's just look at the contenders. So we'll get rid of the 2. We'll get rid of the 1. I don't think the 11 you can necessarily throw out. You weren't worried about the 9 horse getting away?
No, she's not reaching the distance. She's a 5 furlongs horse.
All right, so you got this speed going down the hill, stretching out. Okay.
Too much for her.
Alfredo says no, even though she's 25%, she's a little scary for sure.
I don't trust her.
I wouldn't either. She wouldn't be my type, to be honest with you. But you're right. And I mean, she looks like you're right. She looks like 5.5 furlongs. That's what she looks like.
She will stop in the middle of the final stretch, and the number 7, the 10, the number 4, all of them are passing her. This horse is good.
This 10 horse looks really good, but it's dropping big time in win percentage.
Yes, but she's good. She has heart.
She does.
She has won at dirt. She has won at turf. She has won on synthetic.
You've got to love
short
those
distances,
smiling
long distances.
tigers.
She's so good.
You have to love those smiling tigers, honestly.
She's good. She has heart. She could win the race. I believe the number 7 is better at the distance. She's like a specialist. The number 7 is a specialist, but the number 10 is good.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, you want to look at this number here. 4 races, and this horse has earned $40,000 per start. At Santa Anita, look at that. In 8 tries, $260,000. So
she's good.
She is really good. I mean, she I don't know what happened in the last race, and there was a lot of horses in the race, but she was right there in the stretch before giving it up late. But
because she's better at 6.5 furlongs, she's better at that distance than on a mile and than at 5 furlongs. So she's a specialist at this distance.
No doubt.
The finish, the number 10. If she is good enough to do the change again to turf and run the distance, if she's not able to do it, the 7 is winning.
So right now, what you're seeing is, from what I'm looking at, and this makes a difference, you've got this horse who likes 6.5 furlongs, but hasn't won going 6.5 furlongs in a while. So you know these horses that are specialists. Now this one's is cheaper, so this one has done okay going 6.5 furlongs, but not as good as the 7.
She's a dirt horse,
right? And then I bet one down the hill last week sometime, and it was really an easy one for me because the horse was the only proven horse to go down the hill consistently, and I ended up getting like 3-1 on that horse. It was amazing, but 7 is the horse to beat. I mean, no question. This one is the class of the field. The 5 horse doesn't look good enough in this race. The simulator has you often see this, Alfredo, and you know this down the hill. The simulator has these horses, a lot of them right there at the wire. Mm-hmm. Even the 6 horse there at the wire, but Peter Miller, Tyler Bays, could you see Peter Miller with a bomb here? I don't know. There's the 7 horse. The thing about the 7 a little bit, let me play devil's advocate a little bit. From what I see with this horse, when it wins, it doesn't win by much, 1. And 2, it needs to be near the lead. It needs to, and the 9 is freaking fast. So because of that speed, that could hurt the 7 a little bit. That's a fact because of its style. So you could see a wall of horses finishing really, really fast. I mean, that 9 is fast. That means the 7 might try to stay really close to the pace. The more I'm looking at this, I think it's maybe a race worth trying to beat these favorites. The 10 horse, this one, it looks like this one can rate. It's never been 6.5 furlongs before.
7 furlongs on dirt, and she will be behind the speed. She's going to be running maybe 6th or 7th. And she will wait until the final stretch for sure.
And look, in 9 lifetime races, she's earned $450,000 for Steve Speck, 5 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. She's been in the money in all 9 races: synthetic, turf, dirt. I mean, And
Yes,
she's going to be
she's
sitting
so
a
good.
beautiful trip on the outside. She's just nothing. I mean, I don't know what happened in the last race. It was a grade 3. She just doesn't seem to be. She might not be a graded horse. Plus, that was open company that she faced last time, but she was 27%, and she disappointed, no doubt about it. But again, that was open company. She's going to sit a really nice trip on the outside. There's something. How about this 3? I think this 3 is going to be closing possibly. It looks to have a bit of class.
Yes,
It's
she's
earned
an upsetter. Yes, could be.
right.
Like
It's going up in GSR. This 3 horse could be the price play here with Mike Smith coming from behind.
Yes, if the 10 doesn't close, I think all depends on Umberto Rispoli, who is riding the 7. If he's able to manage the speed at the beginning, don't be so close to the leader, chase her down in the right moment. He needs to be very precise.
Yeah.
But the 3 has a chance, the 10 has a chance. Yes, they have a chance. Even the 4.
This is a wide open race. I'm a little worried for the 7 because of the speed of the 9 for sure. I'm definitely worried about that. I think there's going to be some speed up there, and you're going to see a wall of them closing. This horse, yeah.
Andiamo ragazza.
Look, all I know is this: the race simulator has this 6 horse only losing by 2 lengths. When you're playing in tournaments, I mean, this is the type of horse you're looking to play, and they come and win. Same with like the 3. Like if I'm playing in a tournament, I'm using the 3 and I'm using the 6.
Well, I prefer the 3. Has a better GSR. Has Mike Schmidt, the pace scenario. So I prefer the 3 than the 6.
Yeah. I'm just going to suggest that maybe I was almost all over the 7, but the style of this horse is to be near the lead, and the 9 is crazy fast. And this horse was 90 cents in the dollar last time out at 33% and lost. Now, again, that was 8 furlongs. I get it, no doubt. And the race before that was 5 furlongs. And she certainly likes the downhill. She rated here. She was a length back here in the Irish O'Brien. So,
yeah, and she runs better apparently on Santa
here.
Anita than Del Mar.
She was 2.5 lengths here, and you know what? I'm Alfredo. I'm going to say the 7 as well. I think the 7 is going to find a way to get this win.
It's likely the winner.
I will tell you this though: she stays too close to that 9 horse, she won't win this race, and we're going to see a bomb win this thing.
Oh, you are right. If Umberto puts the number 7 too close to the 9, she will tire.
Yep. But that's scary. You know why? Because the 9's going to have a clear lead. It's just super scary because the 9 is going to have a clear lead here, and he might go, I can't let that 9 get too far away. You know what I mean? And so all of a sudden he's the one. Umberto is the one that's really trying to keep the front runner honest, and depending on how fast they go early, like look at that, it's just a wall of horses finishing, a wall of them.
Well, they need to handicap the race. That is the reason that I said that depends on Umberto, because if he can handicap the race, he knows that he needs to the number 9 leave her alone. He needs to do it. And he needs to close at the end and forget about the 9 and try to get the rest of the field behind him. That is the key of the victory. Don't worry about the number 9, and be worried about the rest of the field behind him, especially the number 10 and the number 3, and also the 4. So on Sunday 13, there is a stakes at Kinneland.
On Sunday, we'll go to that.
That is going to be the last one.
Okay. This 8 horse could be finishing really strongly as well too. Interesting.
More at their horse.
Interesting race, right? Interesting race. Well, look, I mean, hasn't run bad. Well, cheaper, has not been winning on the downhill. We could end up seeing a really big price in this race. just you have to just consider that maybe to spread a little bit. But I'm honestly between you and me. Don't tell anybody, but I'm going to bet that I'm going to put some money on this 3 horse. I really kind of like this 3, and I'm not going to be surprised that the 6 horse blows up the tote on Diamo Ragazza. But all right, so let's go to Sunday. We'll do one last race over at Keeneland. That is a grade 2 race.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very interesting race.
Let's first see if we can eliminate. No, we can't. Jeez. You have any easy races for us? You got it, Dan. Thanks for chiming in too. We always appreciate that.
Fair. Thanks for tuning in and supporting my English.
I don't think anybody can do that well enough.
Yes, I know, especially you.
Listen, your English is 1,000 times better than my Spanish, so.
Oh, well, that's easy. I think the number 1 will destroy the field.
Destroy the field?
Yeah.
Those are powerful words. All right.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
She's a grade 2 winner at Europe. And she finished second in a grade 1. And she
finished third.
She finished third at the Saratoga, facing the males. And she defeated the boys in the last time out.
Grade
and
3,
now
right.
she's running against the girls.
Yeah. You're right.
Total destruction.
She's spent the money in 10 of 11 races. You're right.
She's extremely good.
She is. And Flavian Pratt's aboard. Let's see. Wow, look at the Bruno workout reports. Let's take a look at her.
She's a monster.
Star of Mystery started slightly behind Star Guest and kicked home nicely after a split, 27, finishing 23 flat on our watch. That's that's flying pretty good. All right, let's take a look at her. She is outside of Star Guest.
Oh my God. This Charles Appleby brings this monster.
So they're obviously around the dogs.
Preparing her to run a big one. I don't know, but
so when you see these cones here, they're trying to preserve the grass course, so they're running on the outside. So time really doesn't mean anything with these particular workouts. You're just trying to see how easily they do it. Okay, hold on here. This is cutting out. I don't like it. Let's go back here so we don't have to watch it like this.
See the way this Star of Mystery moves in the final turn. Oh my
When
God.
you have to consider too that Star of Mystery is on the outside as well, so she's running a little bit further. I mean, they're
yes, I'm here.
They're asking, right? I mean, it's not like he's not asking. I mean, she's clearly better than the inside filly, but it's not like she wasn't being asked.
Well,
So
it's her ways.
I mean, her resume speaks for itself. I didn't necessarily think that workout or that video was all that great. Obviously, Godolphin has a really nice horse here.
Oh, check her. She's not a speed horse. She's a closer.
That's true.
She's a closer. You need to ask her to finish the job. It's normal. She's a closer.
You can almost count for sure that these outside horses aren't contending for the win. Look, she's not that far back, which I like. I mean, she's really not.
And she's inside, so Flavian is going to wait. There is a speed in the race. The number 4 has a speed. The number 5 has a speed. A wall of horses is going to be behind, and the number 1 will be chasing. She's superior.
This 5 is a nice horse. 4 can't win the race. All 4 can do is hurt 5's chances. That's about it.
Wow.
And that's probably not going to happen because the 5 looks too fast. I think we can easily get rid of the 4. The 7 horse is going to be too far back, 2% to win. First call, like the 12 horse in that wide post like that, that's not going to happen. Same with the 11, most likely, but it might be able to get over. 8 horse is moving up in GSR, and it won against a 76 Group 2 back over to Ellis Park. It's not the worst looking horse in the world, but it is going to be far back early. Remember, we're looking for horses that aren't going to be too far back, maybe 3 lengths. So, the 1, 3, 6, and maybe the 9. That's what I see. And the 9 is 40 to 1.
She's
This
not
one
bad.
just never seems to get there and could get a
not
little
good
bit
enough.
wide. But the ones on the inside, how about this 2 horse? Look at the race simulator having this 2 horse right there. What's going on there with Pandora's Gift? I mean, this horse got second in a grade 2 race on the synthetic. And look, here's what I don't like this horse. And although the race simulator likes it, I don't like it.
She's a synthetic horse.
She's a synthetic horse. That's exactly what I see as well. Look at what she's done on the turf in comparison to synthetic. Like,
yes.
Why that? I don't know why the trainer can't see that. I mean, if I could have a horse that could do that in the grade 2, I mean, send this horse to Gulfstream Park, anywhere, but maybe there's just no other races for her. That's my guess. There's probably no other races. I can't see it. No, that's a synthetic horse, but she's nice. But that just goes to show you, like, there's not a lot of options for big races with synthetic horses, and so that's a nice synthetic horse.
So I believe the number 1 and the enemy is the number 3. That's it.
The 1, and then the 3 horse Roses for Deborah
is the enemy, but the number 1 is too much. Okay. Bluegrass Dan said it. It looks just too good.
Yeah, 1 does.
She's over this group.
Look, this horse barely won at 55%. And it won this race at 5.5 over at Keeneland nicely with 11 other horses, but then arguably disappointed in 2 of these 3. You know what I mean? But but it also went on the shelf here for a little bit, maybe, and then it needed this race right here, possibly. It was it's 7 path as well. So yeah, okay. This horse is going to need a little bit of help as well.
She's good, but
he's going to
number 1.
No, you're right. These 2 horses, the 1 and the 3, these are all going to be coming from the inside, no question about it. What about the 5 horse? This is the EquinEdge second pick. I mean, it's a nice. She's horse.
Getting pressure. Paco is going to try. She's good, but I think the number 1.
She doesn't need the lead.
Yes, but
Paco's a master at 5.5 furlongs. I mean, master. There's not many people better at 5.5 on the turf than Paco, or 5 furlongs. I mean, he's just really, really good. I think the 5 horses is definitely got a look. But the horses that are going to be finishing, I agree with you, are the 1 and the 3.
There is another horse here with a high pace, but I don't remember which one is.
With a high pace?
Yes, because has close
the 5
to
is
8.
fast. No, yeah, I think it was the 4 horse. Remember we talked about, but not fast enough. The 5 is going to, with Paco, is going to have the lead early. No, there's just no question. He's going to have this horse on the lead.
I'm not sure about that.
Who else is going to be on the lead?
The 4 has a speed.
4 is not as fast as the 5.
Oh, the 4 was running here at Gordon, and she's fast.
Look at the first call. At the first call, in the last race, she had the lead and she won. Prior to that, at the first call, she didn't have the lead. And that was a 68 group last time out, and she was 18%. Now she's 2%. 4 has no chance and will not be on the lead unless the 5 stumbles.
Well, she's running with 4 pounds less than the number 5.
Could be 10 pounds less. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Paco's good out of the gate. There's no question the 5 is going to be in the lead. Now the 5 is going to be under pressure late. Look at the top 2 win percentages. This is the 1, 3, 5 in some sort of order. Listen, you know what though?
You like the 5? Just say
no,
it.
no. I
Just say it.
No. You know what I'm choosing though? I'm taking the 3. I think I'm going to take the 3, and because I think that the 3.
Let me see. You analyze the 5. You said that the 5 is going to take the lead. You say Paco is the best rider for the distance.
Yeah.
That the number 5 is going to be strong. And now, after you explain all this, say, oh no, I'm taking the number 3.
No. I said the 5's going to have the lead, and I think the 5 is a player in here. But I also the class of the field is the 1 and the 3, but the 3 might get first run. I'm going to trust in Irad to get a good trip on this 3. So I'm gonna take the 3.
I have a heads up for you. The number 5 defeated the number 3.
Okay, let's take a look at that. That was on 823 last time
in the
out.
Intercontinental.
Let's see here. When?
Yes, in the Intercontinental at Saratoga.
Oh, 6-7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, barely, but 100%. You're right.
So Debra was not in time that day.
Listen, 5 has 6 wins in 13 races. The 5's a player. Before we go though, I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to just go with Irad. I don't love it. I wouldn't single it, but I'm going to go with 3, 5, 1. That's what I think. But I'm not going to be surprised if the 1 wins. You're absolutely right. The 1 on paper probably is the horse to beat. I mean, you're talking about a filly that's been racing against the boys and is now facing fillies. She's on paper the horse to beat, no question. Yeah, no question. But I'm going to go with the top win percentage horse in the 3. It's not only the top win percentage, but it's top EE pick. So I'm just gonna, for that reason, I'm going to go with the 3. The race simulator shows that maybe the 3 horse will get first run. So I'm going to count on the Irad.
Igualmente, Bluegrass Dam.
Huh?
That was for Bluegrass Dam, not for you.
I know. Jeez, don't be so mean. Okay. Real quickly, this horse is 4-1 on the E morning line, and it certainly freaking looks good on paper. Look, this horse arguably might be the class of the field.
And she defeated also Debra.
I mean,
she's the carrots.
Yeah, look at her. 650,000, 6 wins. And Tyler's, like we said earlier, has been just absolutely on fire. Not going to have to worry about this horse has never even run with Lasix. I mean, what a nice horse. Wow. You know, that was a really tough race last time out. This horse still got second against 11 other horses. Why do I feel like this horse is going to get overlooked? And maybe we should be very careful. How is this horse 8-1 on the odds makers morning line? Wow.
And it's the long shot of the system.
Yeah. The sire earned all his money on turf. It's a nice looking horse.
No, she's good for sure. If the number 1 does not deliver, obviously the 3 or the 6 or the 5 will win the race.
Oh, all right. I think that's it, huh?
Yes, it's enough for today.
I've been in meetings all day. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got the Road to the NHC with David Harrison, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So hopefully you can join us, where we're going to be covering all the feeders and all the qualifiers for the Road to the NHC. So if you want to get involved and learn how to qualify for some of these tournaments, join the NTRA.com right now. I believe it's $25 to do so. There is a code. I can't remember what that damn code is. One of these days I'm going to write it down. I think it's might be NHC 2025. I think that might be it. And there's $25 for I think through February. So that will cover you, and hopefully you can qualify for the NHC. So thank you, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Bluegrass Dan. Thank you all. Appreciate that. Alfredo, that was a lot of fun. I appreciate you joining. And Chris, why don't you come on for a second and let us know what's going on over at Keeneland this weekend, so everybody can be aware of all that.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great job tonight. Way to go through all the races. I think that was very well done. So, Scotty, Saturday at Keeneland, we will be live on site for the first ever stretch run on site show at Keeneland. Unprecedented. Nobody else has ever done a stream from Keeneland. TVG broadcasts live from there, but we will be broadcasting live on YouTube. We'll be covering the contest, heavily focused on all the Keeneland races. We've got media passes. We'll be in the paddock. We'll be all over the place doing interviews with folks. It should be a great time. We invite everyone to tune in to that. Bluegrass Dan, first post. We are going all day long at Keeneland. We're starting first post, 1 Eastern time, and we will go to the last race. We'll try and squeeze in other races like we do on the stretch run, but we're really going to focus on Keeneland, the people there. Jim Goodman, shout out to him for getting us set up. Oldie and Justin are on site on the ground there now. They will be working with Jim. We'll either be in the contest room and or the green room. By the way, not even TVG is broadcast from the green room. So if we do that in the green room, just boom. That's a boom right away. It will be a good time. I leave tomorrow at 1:53 p.m. Eastern. I'm out of all this hurricane BS yesterday. I should be there now, chowing on a nice, great steak at Jeff Ruby's that I'm not. My phone is blowing up for all the folks that are there, telling me what I missed. But I made it through, and we're going to have a great show on Saturday. So join us then. It will be a great time. We've got all your guys' picks. Laurel's got a great card. Don't forget about that. If we don't cover it, don't hate us. We'll be focusing on Keeneland where we're at, but it is going to be a good weekend of racing.
Now, Justin and Oldie are there now, correct?
Correct. It is 10:40 p.m. I'm going to hook up with Oldie when I get off here with you. They should have been there about 4.5 hours ago, hooking up with Brad Anderson and Matt Miller and Paul Halloran and that whole group. By the way, the Cody's Wish story is coming out. Paul Halloran has written a book on that. That's going to become a movie, and will be coming to you soon. A lot of the people that are involved with the Secretariat movie and a couple other that I don't want to botch, I won't say it, but coming to you soon with all that great story. And we're going to just tie all that together this weekend while we're there. But, join us. EquinEdge has got it nailed down. I'll tell you a quick story. The big carryover at Keeneland the other day. I think it was Wednesday. They had the early pick 5 carryover. And the fourth leg, I got a text from Matt that said, I have a very unpopular opinion that our pick 5 players are not going to like. I like the one horse that was the favorite. And I've seen this movie before. Everybody goes deep, and that horse wins. I'm just going to go there and do my thing. He did his thing. That one horse broke horribly, went 8 wide, and won the race right at the end. And that set him up for the weekend pretty well. So
good.
We'll be there with them. I know Justin's playing the contest tomorrow. I believe Oldie is. A lot of our other EquinEdge people are as well. So there's a $400 on site. If anybody that's listening here is going to be there, Oldie and Justin will be there tomorrow. Look for them, tweet them out, find them on Twitter, find us on Saturday. We're happy to talk to you guys and whatnot. Oldie's got some stuff for everybody as well. So if you show up, you may get a hat, a T-shirt, or a mug.
And then Saturday they've got the fall BCBC NHC challenge over at Keeneland. It's a $3,500 entry with a $2,500 bankroll. $1,000 goes to prize pool, but that's going to be really good. I'm going to be playing in that on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. Again, I know you brought it up too, Chris, but a big shout out to Jim Goodman. He's just been a really big proponent of ours, and been on our side and given us the ability to stream and race replays, which are coming soon. And so big shout out to Jimmy. We really appreciate you, Jim. He's been on a couple of times. And by the way, too, I like to believe that we're a part of this, but and I think hopefully some of the other, ADWs and tracks will take note, but they're having record pools right now. And I think it's because, there are more places that people can watch these races now instead of just the same old places and nowhere else. And I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And I think that people are speaking going, hey, we want to be able to watch racing from where we want to watch it from. Don't tell us where we're going to watch it. And I think that's a big part of this. And so shout out to Jim. He's leading the way with in the industry with some of the people that have been doing it a long time and going, hey, maybe there is a different way of doing this. People do want to play. They want to be part of these shows. They want to be part of the chat room. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. So I'm so stoked and so happy to see Keeneland having a great meet.
No, you're 100% right, Scotty. I mean, you can look that Churchill was down at the last meet. Ellis was up. There are a lot of other racetracks that are down. Remington, we did a show on their biggest day. They were down almost $1 million in handle from the year before, and the year before was off turf. So they give us their races, and we generate handle. Off our chat. I mean, it happens every damn day. I mean, there's a $280 pick 5 tonight at Remington that people are betting, and those things sell out. And Shep Trade, we appreciate you guys for locking in and watching us. It's just a different way of doing things. I mean, it goes back to Mac's book. It's a better way of thinking. It's a better way of betting. It's a better way of doing things. Our system is way better than anything out there right now because you get everything on a single pane of glass. It shows you that stuff, and you don't have to flip around to different things like you do with our competition. And we are also way cheaper than all those things. Go look up what an annual subscription to those 3 letters that start with D and end with F, and look at what we have to offer, and it's way better. Plus,
here's what we've seen, guys. And I had a big meeting today too, by the way. Some big stuff is coming. You might want to get involved now, but there's some really big things coming to EquinEdge. This is not nearly the end. We're just beginning. And so we're starting to get approvals now from, I want to say we've got 70%, 65% approvals from tracks for live streaming on our website, as well as past performances. So we're getting more and more and more. And that's starting to come. And there's a lot of new tools that are coming too, and some other things that we just can't speak to right now. But a lot of things using the ticket generator. So I'm super excited about it. We had, by the way, too, we've had a few issues with the upcoming races for years, in fact, and hadn't been able to figure it out. After all this time, we, big shout out to the team, Ryan and Malcolm and Brad. It looks like we figured it out today. And I'm so happy. It's a really big deal. It's going to make these updates way smoother. And I won't bore you guys with the details, but it's pretty cool to see some of the progress we're making. And, we have some new team members over the last 4 to 6 months. And if you know anything about development, guys, it can take a developer up to a year to figure out how to, be comfortable with your system. It takes some time. And that's starting to happen now with the team. And we're starting to gel, and they're starting to make it their own. And so super excited about what's coming for next year. But don't be surprised if next year we've got foreign races as well.
Dude, Scotty, we had foreign races yesterday on Wednesday. EquinEdge.
Oh, no, I know. I saw that now. Listen, I had Brad take that off the site immediately because we don't have the data we have North America. We don't have the data from Chile. And so somehow Gulfstream popped up on the site yesterday. And I happened to I told you guys, I did a $10 exacta box in one of the races, and it hit and paid me almost $822 or something like that. So that was pretty cool. But
it was nuts, man. I mean, we only found that in the morning, and we're going through the races, and we don't know what to do. And Scotty's like, "Hey, we don't have the data on this stuff, so go easy." And then the first race, Scotty top pick wins at 4-1, and then like 2 races later, there was Scotty top pick try at like 82 to 1. And, we're not going hard at it, but it was just interesting to see the first time we hadn't seen that stuff pop up. And, great Shep on hitting the pick six.
Nice going, Shep.
It's just good stuff. Oldie's been killing it in using the system and describing everything.
Oldie's been on fire. Oldie's been, I mean, all of us have noticed that. Like, Oldie is literally on fire. Like, I would just tell you, listen to Oldie this weekend on Saturday on the show. And I think it's not a fluke, guys. One of the things that you know about Oldie is that he puts the time in. Like, he works super, super hard. Like, it's just great. I mean, and this speaks for a lot of people that we're dealing with, but Oldie's one of the most genuine people, the hardworking people. Like, Oldie's not just going to go over and spit out a pick to you that he hasn't studied. I love that about Oldie. No,
he doing a great job. He's there now. He drove up from Illinois, picked Justin up in Cincinnati. They're there. I'm going to hook up with them in a few minutes, and we'll go from there. But it's going to be a great weekend. I hope everybody tunes in on Saturday, and then we'll be back with our regularly scheduled program. Scotty has to go to class today. We've canceled the Friday coaching class because I'm going to be at dinner and won't be able to be with you, but we will be with you on Saturday, and we'll give you all the info that we have and interviews with folks in the contest, different points of view of the way people do things. But
we're going to have some good coverage on Saturday, so look forward to that. Also, don't forget tomorrow, Road to the NHC with 2022 NHC champ David Harrison. He's just another one that's really a lot of fun. I had a really good time with you today, Alfredo. Thank you for your insights and your hard work on that. And Chris, thank you very much. Have a good time. You guys, thank you everybody for supporting us and tuning in. We so much appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see you later.
Have a great night.